So last month, we threw this question out to our viewers. What do you want to know about filing for bankruptcy?
And today is the day for those answers. Here to help in the sponsored interview is Tim Larsen from Diaz Larsen. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
And we'll just say this is the most pleasant space to be in. But if you find yourself in this situation, you guys are the place and the resource for those answers and questions. So let's jump right in to those viewer questions.
Do you want to do the first one?
Yeah,
Here
let's
it is. How will I know when I need to file for bankruptcy?
Oh, good question. And the important part of that is how will you know? How will I know? It's different for every individual. But I would say if you are facing a foreclosure, if your car is in danger of a repossession, if your wages are being garnished, those are very sure signs you need to get in and see a bankruptcy attorney, because we can stop those things from happening to you.
And it's better sooner than later, would you say?
Absolutely. Sooner than later is always better. There's a lot of preparation.
Okay, number two, if my business files for bankruptcy, how does that impact my personal finances? That's scary.
That is. And keep in mind, businesses are separate legal entities. So a business can file bankruptcy or a person can file bankruptcy. If your business files and you personally guaranteed those business debts, that's not going to help you personally. So you may want to come in, you can do both, or it could be one or the other. But we'll tell you which is going to be better for you, one or the other, or maybe both.
I feel like it's a different language and you're translating for us, right? Because
I appreciate that.
A lot of people don't know about this.
Right.
And unfortunately, Tim, would you say that the need to file for bankruptcy is happening right now more than ever before?
It is. There were a lot of protections during COVID. During the pandemic, you had a lot of rent relief, a lot of foreclosure protection, a lot of repossession protection. Those are gone. So bankruptcy is definitely on the rise. And if you feel that maybe you're in that area that you need to talk about it, come on in. We'll tell you if we don't think it's right for you. But if it is right for you, we'll be happy to help you.
All right, let's do number three. Can any lawyer help me file for bankruptcy?
You want to go to somebody who specializes in bankruptcy. Don't come to me for divorce or criminal law. I don't specialize in it. Come to somebody who specializes in bankruptcy, which is the only thing we practice at Diaz Larsen.
Okay, this question, what are the consequences of filing for bankruptcy? Is it the worst thing in the world?
It is not.
Okay.
Bankruptcy has always been meant to be a fresh start. Yes, there will be impacts on your credit, but if you are at that point, your credit has already been impacted. You'll actually be amazed how your credit will rise post-bankruptcy quicker than if you didn't file bankruptcy and take care of that debt.
Back to that last question, I'm so glad you said that, because I think so many friends and family and well-meaning say, I know a lawyer. But what does that lawyer specialize in?
Exactly.
It's important to go to the experts. And thank you for sending in these questions, viewers, by the way. Number five, are there other options or maybe alternatives to filing for bankruptcy?
You bet. There's debt consolidation. You may be able, if you just have one or two creditors, you may be able to settle with those creditors outside of bankruptcy. But again, we're going to give you those options and tell you if one is better for you than the other.
Okay, what are the positives of bankruptcy and how does it protect me in the long run?
Bankruptcy imposes what's called an automatic stay. Once you file bankruptcy, the automatic stay is in place, meaning creditors cannot come after you. In fact, they can't even contact you. They can't call you. They can't try to collect. So you get that relief immediately. Also, the very point is that discharge of your debts. So those debts are going to go away once your bankruptcy is complete. Also, once that bankruptcy is over, your credit score is going to go up from where you were prior.
Wait, can I throw a question in here?
Sure.
How many times can you file for bankruptcy?
We do have repeat customers, and that's okay, but there are time limits. Again, it depends on from which chapter to which chapter. That's why you also want to come and see a bankruptcy attorney like us, because if you filed before, you may not be eligible at this time, but I can easily look that up for you, tell you when you'll be eligible, or if you're eligible for another chapter.
And I'm sure not everyone qualifies for bankruptcy, so obviously you need to talk to an expert. But what happens, we just touched on it a little bit, but what happens to your credit?
So your credit is probably already been impacted. What we'll do when you come in for a consultation, we can tell you where your credit is now and what it will be about a year post-bankruptcy.
I think we have time for this very last one. What happens to the people I owe money to if I file for bankruptcy?
The debts are discharged. In almost all cases, there are a few types of debt that are non-dischargeable. We'll go into that if you come in for a free consultation. But your creditors, simply, the debt is discharged. You no longer owe that money to those creditors.
So good questions.
I know, I think we scratched the surface.
I know, and I wanted one last question. So what about how much in debt you are? Is it as little, what's the minimum if there is one?
It depends on the person. If you can't make your bills that month, or if every month you're falling deeper and deeper, but to some person that may be very little, but to you it may be your whole entire world. And that's okay. Come and see us. We'll let you know.
We just had our free consultation.
Right.
Now go have yours.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It is DiazandLarsen.com. Also a phone number that makes it easy, 801-596-1661. And our thanks to Diaz and Larsen for sponsoring this interview and answering our viewer questions. Thank you so much.
Thanks.